Hey guys, hope everyone's having a good, yeah, you're good. Oh. Come on, that's alright. Yeah, that's okay. Dog approved. Good boy. Hope everyone's having a good end of their week. I know it hasn't been a full week yet here, training-wise, but on Sundays, Saturdays, Sundays, we like to wrap up the week with a weekly update, where we just kind of go over, obviously, how everything went this week, but a short demo as well on what we focused on. This week we focused on the two tools that I mentioned, the clicker and the slip lead, and conditioning said tools. So in general, the week was good. I would say that he's definitely the loudest of all the dogs. He's been really environmentally sensitive, so he's in his crate and he's good, but then, you know, we walk by, someone goes down the driveway or the house, he's going to bark. Other dogs, neighbor dogs, when he's not out, he'll bark. He'll tend to bark. When he's out, he's actually better. Sometimes, you know, just things go bump in the night randomly, he'll start barking. It's mostly in the crate, I would say. A little bit in the pen, but mostly in the crate. It's not too, you know, an alarming, incessant degree or anything like that, but I would say, you know, he is the loudest one here, so mostly curbing his barking behavior-wise, that's been the focus, in addition to conditioning in the tools. But otherwise, pretty good with the dogs. Got a little bit mounty with my one dog, I think I mentioned that, my big dog Ness, the Mastiff, but he got over that obsession fairly quickly, and other than that, he's been fine. Usually my partner helps out with the dogs as well, but I have not had her help out with him because she's 8 months pregnant, 8 and some change, and at least with me in the beginning, had a tendency to be a little bit jumpy and a little bit bitey, so we're not going to risk that. So they have interacted at a distance or on lead or something like now, but socialization-wise, human socialization-wise, it's just been me this week. Obviously, dog socialization-wise, it's been a plethora of a group of dogs. But we're going to go jump into demonstrating the two tools right now. The application of each is very simple. So clicker training comes in stages. The very first stage is called loading the clicker. Loading the clicker is layman term for conditioning the stimuli. He has not used clickers, to my knowledge. Maybe he has with you, but he definitely hasn't with me prior to the camp because I've never met him. So we need to condition the stimuli, and what I mean by that is the click has to mean something. The click has to mean something, and we have to make it mean something via conditioning, right? So for this whole week, we've been focused on that. We wanted to really elicit a response, and the next week is when we transition it into operation, into effect, as in we want to make it practical for us, not just what it is right now, which is a reward-based system. So really all we do here is grab some treats, and we're working on building up the meaning, but we're also working on our timing, right? So I'm not going to I'm not going to lure in shape positions yet. That's going to be next week. This week, we're just getting him focused on the noise, meaning something, right? just a cushion. You're a big man. It's as simple as that. But prior to us really doing much with it, we're going to want to load the clicker to some degree every time, since it's so new to him. So that just means conditioning the stimuli, which just means clicking and paying, clicking and paying, clicking and paying, clicking and paying. You're going to hear me use that word pay a lot. What I mean by pay is actually provide a tangible reward. So the treat is the payment. There's two other forms of reward that we use. That's pet and praise. So we call them the 3 P's. That is also what we focused on this week as well. So when you hear me say pay, that's in reference to one of the 3 P's, and that means we're actually treating our dog. The second thing that he's still going to need the duration of the camp to get used to is the slip lead. He's very pulley with me, very pulley. So we need to get that conditioned in as soon as possible. As you can see, it's up high, just behind the ears, and it's rather tauter than a normal collar would be. But we're just getting him used to wearing it. So we're just getting him used to, when I move a direction, he has to follow that direction and turning the head, okay? We're not doing full heels on it or full walks on it yet. That will be next week. But I do want to talk about our grip. We apply a bicycle handle grip, essentially. That's what I call it. So it's just like you're riding a bike. We hold here and here. We don't just hold the leash all the way out the entire walk. We'll have our moments where we'll give him more freedom during the walks. We'll actually use that term as a release, and then we could give him the whole lead, but otherwise we bicycle grip mainly. Excuse you. And I want to show the actual hand placement, because it's not something I see anywhere else other than me. So you go wrist, hand through, and you wrap it, and you grab the knot that you see here. So we're holding like this. This way, there's no collapsing force on us. So if he pulls, we're not stressing, our own hand, our own muscles longevity. It simply is a fixed knot that we're using our fingers and our palm to hold. The second thing you want to make sure when you're using it is that whenever he's near you, you don't have the leash taut, because it has a circumambient effect on his side after the stopper that I went through and showed you. So when he's next to me, it needs to be dropped all the time and slack all the time. And when he gets to the end of the leash, we need to make sure that it's not, taut. We don't want to choke him or add any pressure like that. So when he gets to the end, we don't just stand there with a taut leash. We draw back and release pressure. So you can see that real quickly here. End of the leash, back, release. Okay, so we're just teaching him that near us, pressure-free zone. And anywhere that he goes that we didn't okay, it's right back and release. We're not holding them here. We don't want to maintain tension. Just back and release. And as I kind of explained in the first video when I was talking about it, that way it's going to remain loose majority of the time, and that's how we want it. He's a very scatterbrained guy. If you see now, he can't even just sit next to me without being under a command. And yes, I could use a command. I know he has obedience already, but he's not here for that. He's here for behavior adjustment. So We want to get to the root of problems and not put band-aids on them. So that's why I'm not just sit, stay, and then, oh, look, the brain is calm. It isn't, though. It's a mask. I need to do these exercises where he's on lead, and he has to realize that every exit that he tries to take, every direction that his brain pulls him in, he's coming back to me. And then that's when I release, so that he learns, all right, you know what? Well, this guy has some magic power where every time I'm around him, there is the absence of the taught leash. So you know what? I don't know what this guy knows that I don't know, but maybe I should stay by that guy. Maybe I should slow my wheels down a little bit. So it's minor things like that that separate your classic dog training from behavior work. I don't really even like to call what we do here dog training. That's more teaching tricks and body positions, which is fine. I'm working him through this right now. The whining, the frustration, the confusion. But I want to go that way, but I want to go that way, but I want to go that way, but I want to go that way. Buddy, you can get all of those things under what presentation? A calm presentation. If I give in to all of that darting nature, all right, let's go have him smell this and check that out and check that out. We're going to continue to see a dog that barks at guests and nips at guests because he doesn't understand that, like, the best way to achieve human interaction or positive stimulation is via being calm. Right now he just sees it as trying a million different things so that finally, hopefully one breaks through and I do get to go that direction, or I do get this guy to pay attention to me. I'd like to point out, you see all these twists in the lead? If you can see that, he's built this big knot. I hardly ever have dogs do that with these. It's just it's a representation of how his scattered state is manifesting, right? It's just direction, right? Turn around, check this thing out, check that thing out. We're here to work all that down. We're here for our ABC lesson, okay? Always build calm. That's what he needs. That's what we need for him. And that's what's going to take him to the next level to be a better dog. I love that he has all that obedience, but we just need him to be able to sit with himself, relax in moments of confusion, and realize that via relaxing, that's the key to getting whatever reward he's after, whether that's human affection, one of the 3 P's, pet, praise, pay, or that's, going on a walk in a direction or getting to go on a place. You can see he's pulling my arm that way, back to me, release. Pulling me that way, back to me, release. Pulling me that way, back to me, release. You hear the whining? I mean, I like to tell people when they see, and now he's scratching, which is an avoidance tactic. He shakes a lot, which is another avoidance tactic. He has so many tactics that, in his mind, allow him to never really deal with his aroused nature, right? They're like, oh, good boy. I like it down, though. First time I clicked, that whole time was for the down, right? Calmer body position equates to a calmer mind. All of those little avoidance tactics are just like, I hate to beat an analogy to death, but it's like a Band-Aid on a really, really bad leak. It's not a permanent fix. It's not an altered state. It's just a little, see, now what are we going to get next? Probably barking, right? We're working through all of these levels of frustration right now just by doing a slip lead exercise. Just by teaching him that right now what I want him to do, which he can't accept yet, is to do nothing. The hardest thing to teach a dog ever is to do nothing. And that's all that he needs to do right now. And I thought the down was good, but it wasn't kind of a faux down. He popped right back up, and he scratched a lot during it. But when I see more displays of calm like that, those are the things that I'm going to mark and reward for, because I'm going to build up the actual solutions to the situation, the self-soothing solutions to calming himself down. I'm not going to mark and build up for the avoidance tactics. Avoidance tactics are good right away when you're doing damage control and you're first dealing with problems. And then later, you need to work through those problems. You need to face them head on. And you need to learn actual methods to relax yourself and get through the situation. You can just see in this short clip all the stages that he's gone through. And he doesn't even know what he wants right now. He wants to go in a million directions, which I'm certainly not going to allow, because that's going to feed into his anxious manifestation, right? And he's twisted this leash all crazy, but that's okay. The more signs of calm I see, the more I'm going to click and reward. And with those signs, I'm not going to click and reward with pay, because that is a high stimulation, and that is food, which is associated with a whole other drive. I'm going to click and I'm going to reward via pet, because that physical sensation is something that I want him to get used to receiving in a calm state and reciprocating with calmness, because right now he thinks that pet is received via over arousal, and then he reciprocates those pets with more arousal, because he's like, well, pet me more. You pet me when I was spinning my wheels, right? So in order to get you to do more of those pets, I'm going to jump on you, or I'm going to nip at you, or I'm going to demand bark. Absolutely not. He stopped whining, so I'm going to click and pet. Get a little tail wag, all right? It's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that goes into behavior work, but trust me, he's here for a reason, and so are we, and we'll get him to a calmer state, and we'll give him the tools to keep himself there, and obviously you guys the tools to help reinforce that. But he needs to teach himself kind of how to relax and be calm. I try and be as calm as I can around the dogs, even when they're not here for behavior work, because a calm dog is a confident dog, is a successful dog, is a safe dog, is a dog that you can bring anywhere and do anything with. More whining, so I'm not going to, right, leave kennel up or anything, because that would be what? Reinforcing that scattered brain, right? I don't want the scattered brain. I want a nice, calm, confident dog, and then we can go do something fun. All right, so I'm going to sit here with him for as long as these sessions take. They're rather boring. You don't need to see more of it, but there's the why behind the what, and the end of our first quote-unquote week. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.